My name is Tori, this is Mobile Life, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to another video where I'm going to be chatting about all the books that are on my Kindle. So I really like doing these videos because I put a lot of books on my Kindle from like Kindle Unlimited, or I get free books. And I like to share them with you just in case if they sound good to you and you want to pick them up. So this is kind of like an ebook haul, stuff like that. Now, over on my Patreon, every single Monday, I have something called Free Ebook Monday, where I go on Amazon and all these other sites and compile a list of free books that I want to give to you guys. Whether that's, I've heard of these before where my friends have read them, where I know the author and I think that they're probably going to be really good just because I recognize the author, any covers that look really good, but I try to do a 5 to 10 free ebooks every single week on Mondays. So if you want to join my Patreon, you can do a 7-day free trial if you would like to do that. That's just one of the little things that I offer over my Patreon that takes me 30 minutes, but I know for you guys it's so easy to just click and download them for 100% for free. And most of the time I double check if it is free across like US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, all of those. Usually I do try and double check, but I always say whatever, you know, Amazon site that you use in whatever country, just double check because sometimes it might not always cross over. Anyway, that was a very long introduction, but I do download some of those free books for myself because I really like them, or I'm like, oh hey, this has been on my TBR for a while, let's go ahead and download it. Now, I'm going to refresh my Kindle. I just went through and downloaded a whole bunch of books that I really want to get to. Some of these I probably most definitely will read this month. Who knows? Honestly with me, who knows? I do still have one from the last time I did one of these videos, and that is Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters, because I do want to continue on with this fantasy romance series, and I do not want it to get lost with all the other books that I want to read. So this is a continuation. This is a like Viking, found family, very heavy found family, and our female character is definitely going on a huge journey trying to figure herself out. She's learned a lot about herself, her family, and all these things that have been kept a secret, so I'm very excited of that one. Another book I got for free was because if you have Amazon Prime or something like that, you can get like Amazon's First Look, where you get a free book every single month, like at the beginning of the month, and that is The Last Letters of Elle Aisling. I think it's that. I'm probably pronouncing this. This is by Cynthia Ellingson. This is a historical fiction, so it's 300 pages. It's a historical fiction to Ireland, where the country she fled post-war war, and Dublin. So it's, you know, about Ireland and stuff like that, which I always love reading historical fiction books set either in World War I or World War II, but like other countries besides just like Germany or some of the UK or some of the European countries, just because I like to read different things. So that is one that I've had downloaded. I do have 2 novellas downloaded from Kindle Unlimited that I do need to get to like ASAP, because the second book in this series comes out. Now it is The Scepter and The Sword by J. Bree. These 2 are prequel novellas. They're less than 100 pages each. And I read The Crown of Oaths and Curses February, I think. The next book is coming out in May. And I did not read these 2 prequel novellas before I read the book. I didn't feel like I was confused on anything, but because I love that book so much and I'm super excited for the next book, I want to read these 2 before that book comes out, I think on the 19th, so I do have some time, but that's one I'm very, very, very excited for. I do have an arc of a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I do not know anything about this book. I just know it's Ashley Poston. I was able to download an arc and it's sitting on my Kindle. I will probably read it in June because it comes out in July. I like to read it a little closer to release, even though I have it so early, but that is on my Kindle. The next one I have is Where We Promise by Ashley Muniz. Why can I not say her name right? This is the 3rd book in the Stone Riders MC series, and I really liked the first one. The second book was not my favorite. Too much enemies to lovers for me, just like a little too much. But this book apparently, okay, there's one thing that I'm a little nervous about because our female character is pregnant. So it's the romance between her and another MC, like not the Stone Riders, another MC's president, and they're working with this MC, so like obviously we've seen them before, right? But the person that got her pregnant is the second in command of that MC, so like his, I think, best friend. I don't know. It seems very freaking messy, and I'm here for it. Oh, fake husband? I didn't know that. Okay, I just know that some of my friends really loved it and when they read it, so that's another one that I downloaded immediately when it came out, so that I'm very ready for this. Now, this is another book that I'm kind of nervous for because I don't think I've read anything by this author, and it is Before We Came by Sloane St. James. So this is the first book in the Lakes hockey series. I guess I'm going into my hockey era again. I don't know. This sounded good. It is a brother's best friend hockey romance. Kidnapping, fatal car accident, childhood emotional and physical abuse are mentioned but not described in detail. This is a spicy hockey romance featuring dirty talk, praise, suspense, angst, second chance love, forced proximity, and of course happy ending. So I think I saw some of my like people that I follow for dark romance read this and say they liked it. So I'm like, okay, if it's like a darker hockey romance, we're gonna give it a try. So that's why I downloaded that one. Now this one came as literally only a recommendation from, I saw my friend Sarah from Dragonfly Reads reading this. And this is Rainfall by Allison Rhymes. She read this book in a day, and she never does that. So Seattle Blades book number 1. So I think this is a hockey romance series at 271 pages. So it's a little on the short side, but it says, I met the love of my life at 10 years old. At 16, I gave him my heart. 3 years later, he was drafted to the NHL and moved across country. 5 years later, he's back and he's meeting his daughter for the first time. I still hate him, even if my heart says that's a lie. Okay, I see why Sarah loves it. She loves that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm very excited for that one. The next one is another hockey romance. I think this is the last hockey romance I have, but it is Puck Block by S.J. Silvis. So I have read the other 2 books in the series, Ice Bet and, oh my god, what is the Weak Side, and I've liked them. She's a solid hockey author for me. I do love this series. So I don't remember who this is about, but it is enemies to lovers, brother's best friend, hockey romance. Yeah, so I'm very excited for this one. It can be read as a standalone. I know this one also just came out at the end of April, so I'm very excited. Now, the next 2 are actually part of a read-along that I do with my patrons. Every 3 months, we pick a series to read, and we are reading Willow Astor's Landmark Mountain series. So while I have the physical book sitting right here next to me, while I do have this physical book, I very rarely read physically unless that's like my last chance, but they're all in Kindle Unlimited, so I was able to download it. So this one is A Small Town. This one is Rivals to Lovers, which isn't my favorite, but I'm gonna give it a try. Enemies to Lovers, Workplace Small Town Romance. And then I have the second book in the series, which is called Someday Downloaded. I didn't want to download all of them because I'll switch those 2 out. Like, I'm obviously not going to read all 5 at the same time. Plus, our live show is not until June. Like I said, if you want to join my Patreon, you can read along. I let them choose a series and we read. Basically, I give them options. We discuss it and then they pick which ones they want to read. So the second one is From Childhood Best Friends to High School Sweethearts to a relationship so broken it was impossible to fix. That sounds so good. I'm really excited for this series. It's a series that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. Now, okay, so the next contemporary romance I have is one that I bought from a Polycon. I got a special edition of it. It is called Behind the Broken, and it's Behind the Darkness Duet number 1. And I don't think the second book is not out yet. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but we shall see. But this one is apparently like mafia-esque. She is like the upcoming like president to be, like he's running for president, and I guess he used to be part of the mafia, but now he's her bodyguard. I'm only 5% in. I'm very intrigued, but it's a darkly heartwarming, swoon-worthy contemporary debut for romance, like a contemporary debut from her, because she's written fantasy romance previously. So I'm very excited for this one, just because I bought this from a Polycon, immediately downloaded. Now, another book from her that I downloaded is a fantasy romance series. It's the first in a series. It's called An Heir Comes to Rise, and it is An Heir Comes to Rise series, book number 1. So I don't know anything about this series at all. I just really was in love with the covers. It kind of reminded me of Throne of Glass. Oh, it says for fans of Throne of Glass and Red Queen. That kind of makes me nervous because I don't like it being compared to other fantasy romances, especially like the big ones. But Faith is an orphan with a talent for swordplay, knows the importance of keeping her head down around the Fae Patrol, and she and her best friend Jaqen long for a better life, and her desire to swing a sword in combat by bringing the purpose and coin she's yearned for. So Nick apparently is a Nightwalker, a silent assassin of the mind with the power to enter others' dreams. Whoa, that's interesting. Anyway, that's all I want to read. I kind of want to go into that fantasy romance blind. Another one that I have is the second book in a series, because I did read Blood and Steel by Helen Spohr just recently for a vlog. You guys will see it at the end of May. But I immediately downloaded the second book. If that says anything about how the first book went. And that is Vows and Ruins by Helen Schroer. So it is the second book of the Legends of Thesmar series. And I love Thea. I love Thea. I love our main male character, Wilder Hawthorne. I love the dynamics. I love the found family that was introduced in the first book. So that's why I immediately want the second book on my Kindle, because I'm kind of obsessed and I want to continue on. Now, the next one I have downloaded, the last fantasy romance I have downloaded is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. I've heard really good things. I've heard mixed things, but I'm very excited. I don't know anything about this series. At least this is less than 500 pages. So that's giving me hope, but it says, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom is a dark Rapunzel reimagining full of immersive imagery and breathtaking angst. So like I said, I have tried to read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, and it was too flowery for me, but I've heard that this one's not as flowery, so maybe what I'm hoping with that book is like this will give me an introduction to her writing and her style of writing, so I get used to it, so when I go into When the Moon Hatched again, because I do want to try it and read it, then I will have like a little bit of a better understanding about her writing and how things go. So that's what I'm hoping for. And the last book I have is called Strung Along by Hannah Cohen. This is a small town romance. I haven't read anything by this author, but I'm very excited. I'm reading this also for a vlog. Those are all the books I have downloaded on and from Kindle Unlimited. You can let me know if you have any books that are at the top of your TBR on your Kindle. Let me know in the comments down below. For the emoji, drop me a fruit emoji. Drop me your favorite fruit in the comments down below. A lemon. I'm trying to think of emojis. Strawberries. I don't know other fruit ones that they have, but drop me a fruit emoji in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.